Okay, alright, this is going to be the second piece of our standalone setup for KT400. Um, just to recap, we've gone through the initial setup, program users already. We've named the doors and named the inputs, just kind of the normal things to do to get us ready to have the system online. One of our next moves that we can take is we can go to card holders, and then we can add said card holders. So what we can do now is MCC installer James, and my card number is going to be 39 265. We can set up pins in there if we're using that. We can add a photo if we wish. We can do all that. We can start date, end date, expires. I can put schedules on here for when I have access to these doors. So the schedule time that I can come in is just always at this point, but we can always add schedules to there to say these I could only get in here from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. We can set all that up in schedules. But that's all you really got to do to program somebody in here. We save. Bam. Alright, so while we're here, let's go ahead and add one more. Get yours. So MCC installer John. That is going to be E930226. So now, as we start getting doors online, we will be rocking and rolling. So you'll be able to beep, beep, in and out. Alright, so that's all it takes to program users. We can go back into the controller. We can rename the controller if we want to. So this would be Terracon KT400. This is where we could change the reader types if we needed. If we had IO smart readers, if we're going to do certain things for relays, we can soft reset, hard reset. We can reset the reader power. We can look at full statuses. All of those things right inside here. We can see our software versions, everything. Alright, just going down the line, we got doors. And we've already gone through this in the other one, but just so that you can see, as far as naming it, telling it what we had, but this is where you would go if you needed to edit or change anything inside here. Here's all the different settings. We can set up double swipe, triple swipe, multi-swipe. Here's our parameters for these things. So if we wanted to multi-swipe, so we could say always valid, multi-swipe would unlock the front door. Multi-swipe, triple swipe versus the double swipe. So you got double swipe would unlock, triple swipe would lock it. So if a person is capable of, if they're set up to do multi-swipe gestures, and they could swipe, ta-da, that's how all that would be set up. Then you also have the external alarm options inside there. We're not going to save any of that because we don't want to mess with that now. Let's get discard. Alright, here's our inputs here. So this is how we can mess around with our inputs. And one thing we've already done is disabled a lot of these. But I wanted to save this for here. So if we're not using this input, we would disable, save. Go to input 4, disable, save. We're not using 7 and or 8. We've already disabled the others. And all that's really doing is when we go back home, it's just showing us what we are currently using right? So now it's named and we can see and go straight to one of those. It just makes it easier. If we're messing with relays, we can toggle relays. We can do whatever we need to with the relays, rename them. Here's where we would set up schedules. So we can schedule this out for holidays, Sunday through Saturday type schedule. So like if a person needs to have a specific schedule, we can do that. We can set up our holidays here. So we would add a holiday. Basically, a holiday is just going to stop that schedule from working, right? So nobody works on the 4th of July, but Monday through Friday, that schedule is in function from 8 to 5, but 4th of July lands on Wednesday. You don't want your doors to unlock, right? So now your holiday comes into play and says, just don't even look at that day, right? Because you've added that day as a holiday. We can set up actions inside here. So like we can give an action name, date, reoccurrence, when this action is going to continue to happen. So we can say unlock front entry based off of this date right there, just actions. So daily, occurring one time only. So we can say daily at 12 for whatever up to 91 days. But it's really not that necessary. Discord. Network. So right now we're on DHCP, but once we have that static address, then we'll come in here, we'll say disable, and then pump in all this information that it needs to be. Right? Under admin, this is where we can change our users. This is where we will back up. This is where we can update the controller. We have got it on auto adjust for time. This is where we would change our card formats right here. Other than that, that is pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and do one more backup. Now that we've got a handful of things in here, we're gonna save as to our next cloud, customer docs. Terracon. There we go. And there you go. Other than that, the only other thing really, I guess, so customer will be able to log in. They can do this from their cell phone. They can do it from a computer as long as they're on site here, unless you work with IT to get the sports forwarded and whatnot. But if we click on events, that's where all these events will start popping up, and then you'll be able to see as things are logging. And always remember that this is only going to keep up with from the time that you logged in. So it doesn't really keep up with it like if it was on a full server. However, that is all there is to setting up KT400 Standalone mode.